Tracking cooler and drier conditions with temperatures dropping into the 90s. Your NBC Palm Springs starts now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Messer. We start tonight as a man is hospitalized after getting hit by a pickup truck on the 10 freeway. That's tonight's top story. Crash happened near Cook Street around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Here's a photo from the scene. Shows the heavy damage there to the front end of that pickup truck. The investigation led to delays on the freeway. Right now, we're currently awaiting an update on the victim's condition. Stay with us as we learn more.
A Desert Hot Springs woman has been identified after she was struck on an e-bike and killed yesterday. The Riverside County Coroner's Office identifying 67-year-old Laura Harker. This happened shortly after 7 a.m. on Sunday. She was traveling along Pearson Boulevard when a truck hit her. That's according to CHP. The driver reportedly didn't notice Harker and hit the end of the bike. Harker suffered several traumatic injuries and was taken to the hospital where she later died.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help tonight in the case of a murdered Coachella teenager. Happened back on August 2nd. Deputies found 3 teenagers suffering from gunshot wounds in Coachella. One of the victims, now identified as 17-year-old Alberto Castillo Jr., died at the scene. If you have any information, you're asked to call the thermal station. We've put their number right there at the bottom of your screen.
And we have an update tonight on the pyrite fire. It's burning in the mountains of Jurupa Valley. It's charred over 551 acres, 64% contained tonight. Evacuation orders were in place on Friday. At this time, though, those have all been lifted, so that's the good news this evening. CAL FIRE, however, is still asking residents to use caution in the area, and they are investigating the cause as they continue to try to battle those flames. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside from our Agua Caliente casino camera. This is downtown Palm Springs. This view last week, we had a lot of clouds in the valley. It was feeling very sticky, almost like we were living in Florida for the week. But I'm glad that we have Kai Beach here with us tonight to tell us that those conditions may be gone for just the next couple of days.
We're going to drop into the 90s as well. We got drier and cooler conditions on the way. So if you guys are ready for it,
yes,
let's party.
If you deliver it, Kai, we'll gladly take it.
Ready to party.
Cool. Take a look at these current weather conditions. 105 right now in Palm Springs. That humidity, Olivia was talking about, just 11% right now. Right now, high temps, Palm Springs 105. We'll take a look up the hill, Yucca Valley. We're looking at 86 degrees. We bring it down here to the valley floor. Palm Desert 102, Coachella 104. We move westward. We're looking at Banning 87, and our friends in Idlewild, we're looking at 69 degrees. The wind gusts right now, Whitewater 16 miles an hour. Up in Yucca, we're looking at 18. Palm Desert 14 miles an hour, and they will increase as we head into tomorrow. Tonight's evening walk forecast, it's going to be nice. Go out there and enjoy it for desert standards at least. 8 o'clock, we're looking at mid-90s. 10 o'clock, we're looking at high 80s. And if you're still up at midnight, 83 degrees. High temps across the country. Phoenix 105, Denver 88, Minneapolis 78. Our friends in Seattle 72. And in the Bay Area, we're looking at 73 degrees. Low temps for tonight. East end of the valley, Indio 75. West end, Palm Desert 76. Our friends in Joshua Tree, we're looking at 65. And Banning, we're looking at 59 degrees. For Tuesday, it's going to be hot. It's going to be drier. We got a low pressure system developing over Northern California. Hopefully that'll bring some rain to help fight those wildfires. Here in Southern California, AM fog on the coast and perhaps some scattered storms as well. 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Tuesday, 101 degrees. The good news, take a look at this, double digits for Wednesday and Thursday, and those overnight lows in the low 70s. Full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kai, thanks for that. We'll hear from you a little bit later on. Tonight, one locally owned business has expanded. Everbloom Coffee has opened another location in downtown Indio. Our Brett Rosen spoke to the owner and also city officials on why this means so much for the downtown area.
Here in downtown Indio, Everbloom Coffee just opened up their second location this past weekend. It was only 5 years ago that this business was just a pop-up coffee cart. However, now it's part of the revitalization of this downtown area. Downtown Indio is still growing, and Everbloom Coffee is the next business to be a part of the revitalization of the downtown area. Co-owner Matthew Ortega says at one point the coffee house was just an idea. He didn't know what it would eventually bloom into.
It was really just a dream that myself and my business partner EJ had, and we started out with the idea to do a coffee cart probably almost 10 years ago. And so we started back in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So February 28th, 2020 was our first day serving. We were doing like a pop-up, and about 2 weeks later, everything shut down. And then we just kind of continued with the cart concept. And by summer of 2020, we were so busy.
Indio City officials say the importance of the revitalization of the downtown area is on the shoulders of making sure locally owned businesses are at the forefront. And Indio's Director of Economic Development, Miguel Ramirez Cornejo, says it was a no-brainer to have Everbloom Coffee be a part of the revitalization plan.
When I spoke to Matt and EJ, they wanted this to be a whole community type of feel where people can feel to come and have a place to hang out, a third place. What this means for downtown Indio is more people coming back, the revitalization continues.
Everbloom's first location is on Highway 111. It's not super spacious, yet customers still love them.
I feel like the baristas there are really cool. The vibe overall seems really nice. It's very calm.
I think it's a really great thing that they expanded, and especially in this area because it is getting to be really popular. And I think just with COD right down the street, a lot of the students are able to come here and to do their work comfortably.
Matthew Ortega says what makes Everbloom so different is the personal relationships that they have with their customers.
That focus on making someone feel invited, welcomed in, warm, embraced in a lot of ways, I think is a big part of what sets us apart.
Now, as of now, this new location for Everbloom Coffee is only open Friday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for this month. However, when speaking to the owner, after this month, the plan is simple: be open during the weekdays with hopefully extended hours. Here in Indio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Our thanks to Brett for that report tonight. In more headlines, California's minimum wage is set to rise once again, and this will take effect next year. Under state law, the Department of Finance reviews inflation each year to determine if workers should see an adjustment. This year, the department reported a 2.49% increase in the Consumer Price Index. So that means starting January 1st of 2026, the state's minimum wage will go from $16.50 an hour to $16.90. Some financial advisors are concerned about the increase in costs for small businesses across the state.
It's really painful because now the small business will have to pay additional to those employees. I know that's part of the requirement, but at the same time, they have to pay more in workers' comp, more in payroll taxes, more in disability, and that's actually will make this small business suffer more on their money.
State officials saying this latest adjustment may feel modest, but it's another step to keep wages in line with the cost of living.
We have a traffic alert to tell you about. If you're traveling through La Quinta tomorrow morning, traffic lights at the intersection of Jefferson Street and Highway 111 will operate as stop signs. Crews are working to repair those traffic lights. It's set to happen at 4 to 10 a.m. City says you can expect brief delays.
And new at 6 o'clock tonight, the city of Desert Hot Springs is halfway through an 8-year housing plan. And now it's looking to residents to help shape the next phase.
It's all part of the city's housing element. It's a state-required plan that guides how cities will meet future housing needs, especially when it comes to affordable options. Here's Antonio Marquez.
That's right. The city of Desert Hot Springs wants to hear from the community in order to create better housing for its current and future residents. The city of Desert Hot Springs has a housing element that is part of an 8-year plan for the city, which is
it serves as a strategic roadmap to ensure that housing opportunities are available for all residents of Desert Hot Springs.
The city has 3,873 units for housing that are allocated by the state, which are mostly affordable housing.
Most of those units are what we call market rate units. We also have 1,104 affordable housing units. And so where we're at now, at 451 affordable housing units, we're almost at the halfway point, 50% of the meeting that affordable housing goal.
Construction in the city has remained strong, and the city has created more programs to offer housing for those residents that are looking to buy for the first time.
Programs have been very successful. We've had 13 households within the city become first-time home buyers and approximately 8 to take advantage of the home enhancement program.
And now the city wants to hear from the residents.
You can submit written comments to me by email, tclark@cityofdhs.org. They can also attend the Planning Commission meeting tomorrow on Tuesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. at City Hall here at 11999 Palm Drive. And they can provide feedback at a future City Council meeting scheduled for October 7th.
Remember that you don't have to attend tomorrow's meeting in person. You can also express your opinion by email and by going to the council meeting on October 7th. Antonio Marquez, NBC Palm Springs.
Our thanks to Antonio for that report tonight. Coming up next, new documents have been uncovered in the Jeffrey Epstein sex case. We'll have more on the newfound birthday book. That's next.
Also this evening, the green light has been given on allowing pig organs to be used in human transplants. More on this decision. That's after the break.
And here's a quick look at your gold and silver prices on this Monday evening. Stay with us. Those stories and more coming up right after the break.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back. New tonight, updates in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case.
The House Oversight Committee has received its first batch of documents from the estate of the late convicted sex offender. A lawyer for the estate confirming the handover includes Epstein's so-called birthday book, a collection of letters given to him for his 50th birthday. One of those notes reportedly bore President Donald Trump's name, though Trump has denied writing it. The committee subpoenaed the estate earlier this year as part of his investigation. Lawyers for the estate say more documents will be turned over on a rolling basis.
U.S. tariffs hit car companies hard in July. Auto industry consulting firm Anderson Economic Group said car makers paid more than $1.4 billion to import cars and car parts from Canada and Mexico. This comes after a 25% tariff on cars and parts went into effect in April and May. General Motors, Stellantis, Ford, Tesla, and Hyundai assemble many of their cars in the United States, but they import a number of parts from Canada and Mexico. The automakers paid nearly $300 million in tariffs on car parts in July.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved human trials of pig kidney transplants. The biotech company eGenesis says its gene-edited pigs are bred so their organs are more compatible with humans. The company uses technology that lets scientists remove a gene that would normally trigger immediate rejection. The approval comes after several experimental transplants in the United States where patients with no other options received pig kidneys and even pig hearts. Right now, more than 100,000 Americans are waiting for an organ donation, most of them kidneys.
And in some consumer news tonight, a new study shows as temperatures heat up, more Americans are choosing to drink and eat more foods with sugar in them. Researchers at Cardiff University tracked a number of American families and looked at the foods they bought between 2004 and 2019. The researchers then compared the food people bought with the weather outside. Hotter weather makes bodies lose more water. Researchers say they saw an increase in people choosing products like sodas, juice, and ice cream as temperatures warmed. Scientists warn that if the planet continues on its current path, people will likely increase their sugar consumption by nearly 3 grams a day. Go and take a live look outside. Our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera, a sugary ice cream cone probably sounded good today. Some hot temperatures out there, but Kai Beach is in next. He's got some good news for us, a little drop in the temperatures. That's right after this break, so stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday evening. We're looking at some bright blue skies. This is the Walter Clark Legal Cam, Highway 111, beautiful city of Rancho Mirage. That is the river. Maybe go out there and enjoy something from the Cheesecake Factory or P.F. Chang's. As for the weather today, the high, 107 degrees today. Normally, it is 105. So we are above average for this time of year, but just slightly. We're not near that record high of 120 degrees. The big story last week was that humidity. Things start to dry out over the next few days here in the desert. We're going to take a look at those high temperatures for today. East End, Indio, 108. West End, Palm Springs, 102. Up the hill, Joshua Tree, just under 90. And in Big Bear City, a cool 73 degrees. Morning walk forecast. Go out there and enjoy it. 6 o'clock, we're looking at mid 70s. 8 o'clock, low 80s. And at noon, we are at 95 degrees. Future wind potential, take a look. Whitewater, Desert Hot Springs could both see wind gusts up to nearly 40 miles an hour tomorrow, so be careful if you are driving on I-10. High temps for tomorrow, Palm Springs 103. Peak heat, that's going to happen in Rancho Mirage, Lowe's, Beaumont, and Idlewild, both 83 degrees. For Wednesday, it's going to be warm. It's going to be breezy. We have a low pressure system that's building over Northern California. Hopefully bring some rain to those wildfires Here in Southern California, morning showers, AM fog. Near the coast, it's going to be warm and windy here in the valley. Chief Meteorologist Jerry Steffen made this awesome graphic. 53 days away from Halloween, 80 days away from Thanksgiving. Get ready to celebrate. And for that 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air, Tuesday 101 degrees. The good news, we are in the 90s every day after that for the next several days, and those overnight lows, low to mid 70s.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game.
Welcome back, everyone. The JW Marriott Desert Springs hosted some of the region's best junior golfers over the weekend for a PGA Junior League regional competition. The league draws tens of thousands of kids of varying ages and skill levels into the game each year and provides expert PGA and LPGA coaching. We caught up with some of the participants after the event.
It's just a great event. It's so much fun to be out here with this team, especially just getting to compete with them. A little hot, but yeah, it's just so much fun to be out here and play.
Some have been playing since they were 4. Some have just started, maybe a year ago or so. But all of them together to be on this team, this all-star team, is, like I said, just a big accomplishment for each one of them.
And did you see it? Yesterday was the premiere of Firebirds Off the Ice, hosted by our very own Tim O'Brien. The show takes you behind the scenes of your favorite local pro hockey team, from superfans, commentators, and even the AHL's best feathered mascot, Fuego. If you didn't catch it on our airwaves yesterday, don't worry. Simply go to the NBC Palm Springs website, click on the program tab, and look for Off the Ice. And it goes without saying, we had a full slate of NFL games on Sunday, but Saturdays are for collegiate football. And that's when we saw College of the Desert hit the gridiron for their first home game of the season. And this COD roster, it's full of familiar faces and a ton of homegrown talent. Take a look.
The names you cheered for under the Friday night lights are now turning heads on Saturdays. Still repping the desert, but now on the collegiate stage at College of the Desert.
It's a great feeling to be back home, man. I started since I was 7 playing on this field, so it's definitely electrifying to be back on the field.
His first home game back here in the school where he played his collegiate, played his high school football at. So he's really excited about it, and I expecting him to really shine tonight.
With COD's stadium still under renovation, the Roadrunners are calling Cathedral City High School their temporary home. A true homecoming for O'Shea Wallace and a full circle moment for several teammates who once battled under those same Friday night lights.
Rivals on the same team. I think it's pretty cool because we already know what they're about, and so then you know how they're gonna play and what you're expected to play. So I think us coming together, it's like a unit, I would say.
This Roadrunners roster reads like a who's who of local high school football stars. Along with O'Shea Wallace and Aiden Subiga, wide receivers Aaron Ramirez, the all-time leading rusher from Coachella Valley High, and Ryland Risk from Palm Desert are also key contributors.
I mean, I think it's a great. I think the idea of College of Desert get all the high school guys in the valley to get to come here and play. I think it's a fantastic idea because everyone here you can just build new relationships with, and players like TJ Bosley goes to Xavier up the street. He's one of my better friends, so it's just you would have never saw that happening, knowing the Cook Street rivalry and stuff. So I just think it's really cool, and I've become really close with a lot of these guys from the desert.
Well, that'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Howard Stern played a prank on his radio listeners today. Bravo host Andy Cohen appeared behind the microphone at 7 a.m. this morning, saying he was taking over Stern's Sirius XM channel. Cohen said he was renaming it Andy 100. Several media outlets went on to report the incident, saying that Stern had left Sirius XM. However, about 10 minutes later, Stern went back on the air, saying the whole thing with Cohen was a hoax. This comes as Stern's future with Sirius XM is up in the air.
And the city of Indio is hosting a free family movie night. It's this Thursday. It's at Center Stage in downtown Indio. They'll be showing the movie The Lorax. All ages are welcome. Free popcorn will be given out for all attendees. Gates open at 6. The movie starts at 6:30. We'll be right back.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
All right, before we go, imagine walking into your college classroom and you see a 9-year-old sitting next to you. Well, for students at your Sinus College, the imagination is a reality. 9-year-old Aiden Wilkins is the youngest student to ever attend the college. It's located in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. He attends classes at the university 3 times a week and takes virtual classes the remaining days as a high school sophomore at a charter school.
Wow.
9 years old.
Yeah, I felt like I was in college for 9 years. That guy's got some special powers in his brain.
I love his little lab coat.
I know, it's so cute. I barely made it in at 17, so this kid's going places.
Congratulations.
Have to check in on him. All right, that's going to do it for us. We're back here at 11 for the latest headlines, so please join us for that. Meantime, we're going to send things over to Tim O'Brien. He's in for Fred Rogan tonight, and he's got the latest with the Rogan Report.
All right, well, we're all friends here. There's absolutely nothing to hide, so I'm going to ask you a really important question on this Monday. How's your sex life? Well, if it's like many other Americans, you may be experiencing a sex recession. I know a few people right here. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Welcome into the beginning of a new week. Fred taking care of one of his 12 other jobs, so I was asked to add one to my 10 on the schedule. So buckle up. I'm Tim O'Brien. It's going to be a bumpy night. We're talking about jobs. I think many people nowadays have more than one, and they're unhappy with all of them. I'm seeing a theme here tonight. Now, the recent jobs report shows us how difficult getting a job is right now, but what do you do if you don't have one? You hate it and want out, and we've talked about it. Quiet quitting, quiet cracking. Now let's dive into revenge quitting. Now, it seems more folks are saying, I'm done, with a little flair, quitting their jobs with a bang instead of just slipping quietly out the back door. Well, we've seen everything from a hotel worker walking out with a full-on marching band in tow to a teacher ending class and, I don't know, logging off midday in a dramatic TikTok. But these bold exits aren't just for show. They're drawing attention to toxic workplaces, terrible pay, or bosses that take the fun out of every shift. Well, get this. Many of these dramatic quitters land on their feet just fine, often better off, and they're inspiring others to rethink the quiet walkaway. So as we do each night, we'll bring in our contributors, owner of Sherlock Holmes Watch, that's Tammy Bleck, and from Romer and Harnick, lawyer Brian Harnick. Hello to both of you. Tammy, we'll start with you because it's ladies first. What would be your most spectacular way of revenge quitting? Would you go big or would you just go home?
I would definitely go big. May the bridges I burn light my way. If I'm in a toxic environment, I mean, probably every single one of us has taken a job that we weren't very fond of, but we needed it. I don't think there's a person alive that didn't witness that. So that's a little different than being in a toxic environment. A lot of management positions today are not well trained and are kind of get power hungry, and they can make a lot of people miserable, and there's no reason for it. So do you know what? Shame is a great motivator for change. And I think that going out like that will probably help others that follow you. Brian?
You know, Frank Sinatra said it best, Tammy. Sweet revenge, the best revenge is massive success. Go out with elegance. Don't let other people define you. Plus, in this world, Google is forever. You make this big statement, you're going to be tagging yourself for being that jerk that nobody wants to work with. You're in a toxic environment. Do yourself a favor. Resign with dignity, with elegance, and have sweet revenge by massive success. That's what Frank Sinatra would have you do. Be elegant about it. I don't think you're going to shame a bad boss into being a good boss. A bad boss is a bad boss, but it's a reflection on you. And those revenge quitting, I think it's a reflection on the quitter, and it's not a good one.
Do you think that this kind of quitting, film shared or theatrical, actually pushes companies to clean their act up a bit, Tammy?
I do. I disagree with Brian respectfully. I think he's right in one sector, but on the other hand, a lot of managers are not doing the bidding of the company. And when the company is not aware of it, something like this will really gather attention. Social media is not your friend if you're schlepping off. So, yeah, I do think so.
Tammy and Brian, sit tight here for just a moment. We're just getting started. Now, speaking of work drama, you may remember that Cathedral City is suing Fantasy Balloon Flights over the Cathedral City Balloon Festival. Cathedral City is saying that the Balloon Fest was always owned by the city and that Fantasy Balloon was a named sponsor and hired to run the festival. Nothing more. The Fantasy Balloon Flights is saying just the opposite. They're saying they own the festival and Cathedral City was the sponsor. Well, we spoke with Cindy Wilkinson, co-owner of Fantasy Balloon Flights, last month.
So the city came to us years ago and we built the Balloon Festival, and they came on as the name sponsor, sponsoring with financially by having their name on the festival that we own. And it was fine. We were very successful for 10 years. And then the city realized they didn't own it. So they're suing us to try to get ownership.
Wait a minute. So they came to you. They came to you years ago. You were already doing it, correct?
No. They came to us. They asked us if we put a balloon up at a new farmer's market that they were hoping to have. And we said, that's very expensive. The time of day is not good for ballooning. And so we proposed building a balloon festival, but we own it. They came on as the name sponsor.
Now, Cathedral City could not speak with us since it's an ongoing legal matter, but they did provide us with statements clarifying their position, which we used in part when first reported on it. Well, today, Cathedral City released a new statement in our original reporting the city believed we did not use enough of their statement. So we will be using their full statement today so that everyone feels completely represented. Now, the U.S. District Court has determined that Fantasy Balloon Flights and its owners have completely stopped their unauthorized use of the City of Cathedral City's trademarks and logos and has disavowed the future use of the City Balloon Festival name. Now, the city goes on to say, quote, the court cautioned that any resumption of the defendant's unauthorized use of the city's balloon festival, name, logos, and trademarks would mean that the city could support a renewed motion for injunctive relief, unquote. Now, in a ruling issued last Thursday, U.S. District Judge Sunshine S. Sykes found that after the city filed its lawsuit, Fantasy Balloon Flights stopped using the alleged trademark and cooperated with the court through their attorney. So we reached out to the Fantasy Balloon Flights, and their lawyer sent us this statement and court document to back it up. Now, the court order denying that the city's request for a preliminary injunction. The case will proceed in due course, including FBF's counterclaims against the city for damaging its business via this bullying campaign. So Fantasy Balloon Flights not using the city's trademark. The lawsuit is moving forward. Now, the city says their Balloon Fest will still take place November 21st to the 23rd and is now being handled by Sound Skills. We asked Fantasy Balloon Flight's lawyer if their festival was still planned for the same weekend, and we were told that, quote, Fantasy Balloon Flights is still in the planning stages of their next event in the Coachella Valley, unquote. So now we're not sure if there will be a dueling Balloon Fest on that same weekend. We'll always talk about recessions in terms of the economy, but it turns out Americans are in the middle of something called a sex recession, which means a lot of less intimacy than in years past. I'll get this. Only 37% of adults aged 18 to 64 said they had sex at least once a week in 2024. That's compared to 55% back in 1990. And for young adults aged 18 to 29, nearly a quarter haven't had any sex in over a year. That's double what it was in 2010. Folks point fingers at screen addiction, economic stress, loneliness, and fewer relationships or roommate situations. Now, even married couples are getting in on the decline, with weekly sex rates falling notably over the last couple decades. Experts say that all this matters, not just for relationships, but for emotional and physical health too. So we'll bring in Tammy and Brian again. And Tammy, do you think the sex recession reflects more than just biological drive? Do you think it's really a symptom of how disconnected and stressed we all are these days?
I absolutely think there is. I mean, am I the only one that's not surprised about this? Because it makes total sense to me. Married people are now having better and more sex than single people, which used to be the other way around. But I think that a lot of younger people, no judgment, lack social skills. if it doesn't involve their phone or the internet, it's hard for them. And we were not raised that way. But there is a lot of stress out there. There's stress all the time. I'm sure Brian will agree. I mean, we all have it, but it's gotten a lot worse. And the gorilla in the room is social media, and put the damn phone down. Really, Brian.
Tammy, you are spot on. You were right to predict my agreement with you. But it's deeper than that. I think COVID has had an impact. I think the lack of social interaction. But there's an increase in anxiety, depression, and there are a lot of fallout from our reliance on technology, our disconnect of people, our just not interacting the way we used to. And I think it's very dangerous. It's a bad trend. Our birth rate is down. I don't know if there's a correlation, but there clearly is some problems with the psyche of society. We're more depressed, we're more stressed, we're more anxious. And I think it's not surprising that there's a lessening in the amount of intimacy that people are having. And certainly, you know, true love is suffering.
Yep, and we're more tired. Aren't we exhausted? Isn't everyone exhausted?
Yes, I could not agree more. It's not as easy as just going up to somebody. Today's society, and I'm just past that cusp, I think, of going up and having a conversation. Today's generation just simply won't do it. In fact, they're having trouble even ordering in a restaurant off the menu. They have their parents do it, and I can relate in the teenage years. So Tammy and Brian, sit tight here. We'll keep this thing moving along. Now, I could talk about that conversation all day. It's just the people and social skills have dwindled entirely. Remember, as the Beatles told us, all you need is love, and to be a good neighbor, of course. All right, let's see. Romy and Rancho Mirage looking for recommendations for a superb interior designer who really knows how to put rooms together. That's Marika in Palm Springs, needs her baseboards painted. She's looking for a recommended handyman that is knowledgeable and can do the job. Lots of painting today as Deborah in Cathedral City needs to get a hold of Painted Ladies interior painters. She doesn't know exactly how to do that. And Anthony in Palm Desert needs to find a kind, smiling tax preparer. Needed in Palm Desert, that is. So who can you recommend?
If this show puts you to sleep, sweet dreams. If you're awake, tell us what you think. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
Well, we've already talked about your sex life, got that out of the way. So let me ask you this. Is your butt dead? Oh, welcome back. It turns out dead butt syndrome ain't just a funny name. It's when your glutes get so lazy from sitting all day that they sort of just forget how to kick in. And since those muscles are supposed to be your body's shock absorbers, when they slack off, well, everything else goes. Your back, your knees, even your hamstrings end up doing double duty, which can mean aches, injuries, or even worse. Now, the sneaky part is you might not notice till you go for a jog or a climb. The fix, keep those cheeks awake. Stand up every half hour, give them a squeeze, and mix in simple moves like bridges, squats, or even clamshells. It's less about having a big old strong butt and more about making sure it actually fires when you need it to. So, Tammy, Brian, and I'll start with you, Tammy, of course. Have you experienced dead butt syndrome?
It fires when you need it to. I love that, Tim. Yes, my butt has been dead for years, and I actually discovered it because I suffered from sciatica and some lower back pain that was tremendous. Found out that I had gluteal amnesia, which is dead butt. So yes, I get up. I now have a desk that rises, and I try to be a little more mobile. And no, I don't have an alarm and I don't have it set, but I get up and move around because you know what? That's the frame. I mean, all this stuff can come from it. Knee pain, all that jazz. I don't need it. Brian?
Well, first of all, my lawyer instructed me not to answer that question on the air, so I'm not going to answer that question. But that being said, and kidding aside, they say that sitting is the new smoking. The key to longevity, all the studies, is move. And that means move your butt to begin with. Getting up, using what you need to do to get moving is really critical. We all want to age. We want to age gracefully. We want to live a long time. We want to live a long time well. Getting up and moving is important. I hope I never get butt amnesia. Gosh, I just hate the idea.
How about this? And I know we're in the adult world, but what do you think about businesses building in a little wake up your butt time to the workday, Tammy?
I love that idea. I love it. Hey, let's get up and move. Let's get up and let's go check the fridge. Let's go get a donut. No, never mind. That would just make it worse. But yeah, I like it.
Brian, what about your thoughts? Can we build that in? Can we make that a law?
Total. It's about team. We'll make it a law. It's about teamwork. It's about motivation. It's about connecting people together. Get up and move. I think it's a great thing. So you don't have to have that revenge quitting anymore. Work for that great boss that encourages that kind of stuff. But really get up and move. If you have a desk job that you're sitting all the time, you're doing yourself and everybody around you a favor by getting up periodically, walking around, getting some movement. So I'm all for it. I think it's a great opportunity not to be missed.
Tammy and Brian, always a pleasure. Thanks for the chat. And it all comes back full circle, of course. Work for the good boss so you don't have the rage quitting. Get up, stretch it out. All good. Now, as you probably know, this is one of my side gigs. I love it, though. I actually asked Fred to take some time off so I can play in his chair here. But I'm a sports reporter at heart if you watch us here on NBC Palm Springs. In honor of the new NFL season, let's throw out some NFL-based fun facts. We'll start with the longest field goal ever made. It was a 66-yarder. It was kicked by the Baltimore Ravens' Justin Tucker in 2021. Now, only a handful of players have ever made 60-plus yard field goals. And ironically, one happened yesterday by Chris Boswell to seal the win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hit it 60 yards, would have went 70. That's how much distance he had it. This one you might find surprising, though, and I'm glad it changed. NFL players weren't required to wear helmets until 1943, similar to the goalie in hockey, of course, used to not wear a mask. And although the Dallas Cowboys are arguably one of the most iconic teams, not just in the NFL, but all of sports, the team is especially unique. The Dallas Cowboys don't believe in retiring numbers, their jerseys, that is, and neither do the Raiders. Talk about another iconic logo. And if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, which there are some here in the Valley, being that Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, not too far from here, you might want to hold your ears for a second. This one's going to hurt. The Arizona Cardinals hold the unfortunate honor of the longest postseason drought. That's between 1947 and 1998. 51 years that team and franchise did not win a single postseason game. And I've got one for you as well. If you're truly a diehard fan of a team that has never won the Super Bowl, like the Minnesota Vikings, like me, well, they've never won it. It's been torture my entire life, and I have my dad to thank for making me a career loser. Well, after the break, we welcome back Leah Kacker, one of our community reporters.
Hey, riddle me this. What can be seen in the middle of March and April, but not in the beginning or end of either month?
I never get these. No idea. Anyway, Leah Kakar, and it is Kakar, I apologize, is a junior at Palm Desert High School. She's also one of our community reporters. We had a chance to ask her to talk about things that affect her and her community, and she joins us now to tell us about Palm Desert High's Club Rush. All right, time now for the community report. Leah from Palm Desert, welcome back.
So nice to be back.
Yeah, I'm not Fred, but when I was told I'm pinch hitting for Fred, I love doing this because when I was in high school, I didn't have the opportunity to do this. So you take it away and what's going on in the world of Palm Desert.
Yeah, so today I want to talk about Club Rush, which is an annual event that happens at Palm Desert High School. And it happens usually in early September. So it just happened this past Wednesday. And it occurs in our school gymnasium. So they basically have students set up these tables with the clubs that they choose to either create or reinstate past clubs. And students get to walk around and sign up for as many or as little clubs as they would like to, just to find people with similar passions and who share similar activities.
Well, what's cool about that is I'm sure you don't necessarily know all of the clubs that are happening. So it's a chance for the upperclassmen to go around and teach more about the clubs.
Exactly, and people also do that through social media. They create social media pages and have logos that they create on Canva, and so it's a really cool creative process. And we have a wide range of clubs. We have cultural clubs, sports, community, health, science, a large range of clubs. So there's something for everyone.
What's a cool club that you're a part of?
So Amaya and I, actually, she's also a community reporter. We started last year the South Asian Cultural Association, and it was the first one at our school. So it's been a really fun learning process, exposing students, even if they're not South Asian, to some of the snacks, the music, games, and activities to show that culture to them.
That's wonderful, and for it to grow, right? It's something for you to do after school or before school, during the day.
Exactly.
Just to expand your friend group, too.
Yeah, and to do stuff outside of like the classroom or normal writing an English paper or math formulas.
Now, just in our brief conversation in the newsroom, I'm gonna bring this up because I think it's fact. You've been golfing since you were 4 years old.
Golfing since I was 4 years old, so the desert is a perfect place to grow up for a golfer, for sure.
Talk about your team at Palm Desert.
So we have an amazing team at Palm Desert. We've been undefeated in league for the past over 25 years, and we're DEL champions last year. We play at Desert Willow, and we have an upcoming tournament in Lake Elsinore.
Did you just say undefeated in league over 25 years?
Yes.
Shame on me for being sports director and not doing a story on the girls' golf team over at Palm Desert. I promise I'm going to get out to Desert Willow.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
One of these days. I promise you that. So where can students find out more information about this Club Rush?
Club Rush is all over Instagram. So the Palm Desert has an ASB page. They have the official high school page, and all the students who have clubs post it. So there's a bunch of different flyers going around social media and on the website as well.
All right, well, sign up. You have no excuse not to join at least one club and do something better throughout the school day and school year. Leah, thanks for taking a few moments.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, when we return, we'll have your moment of cuteness.
What can be seen in the middle of March and April, but not in the beginning or end of either month? The letter R.
I need to hear that one again. I'm not catching on. Anyway, finally tonight we want to remind you about Mila. We told you her story last week. She's an Australian shepherd that went missing from a local resort. Well, we want to reach out one more time as Mila has still not been found. Last seen August 30th at the Riviera Resort and Spa in Palm Springs. Her family desperately hoping for any sighting of her as there has been none. Now Mila is skittish, so don't chase her or don't go after her. She'll run if approached too quickly. Maybe offer her some treats and talk to her calmly. If you've seen Mila, please call 626-601-0764. There is a reward and a tip that leads to Mila being found. Of course, you can find that on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. And of course, everything around the clock lives there as well, as much as the Rogan Report. We'll see you tomorrow.